Hi everybody. So we're going to do a quick no frills tutorial on how to set a corset busk. This is one of our S-bend corsets, so this is not one of the pattern styles that's commercially available as our patterns, but the steps are the same if you're making 1860s or 1880s. So firstly, I've done a few of the steps already, and I'll just talk you through those. This is the wearer's left corset side. And I have stitched the front busk facing to the front of the corset on the stitch line, which I've marked here, which is at 1/2 inch. And I have also gone ahead and pressed that open and then pressed it all to the inside. So the facing is pressed to the inside. I stitched that on the left all the way down. I've also fused the waist tape in place just above the waist notch here with a few pieces of fusible to hold it in place. It's cut flush with the seam here. That way it doesn't create any bulk when this is complete. So that's the left side. The right side is similar, but because that is the side of the busk that has the hooks, it's a little trickier. So the left side gets the studs, which means you can stitch the facing all the way. The right side, you need to leave gaps in the facing for the hooks. If you're using a busk from our kits, it will have the bottom two hooks closer together so you can easily tell which way is up. If you are using a busk that has even hooks, it can get easy to get turned around. So just make sure that you've got it the right way out. So the side with the hooks on top should be facing away from your body, and it should be hooking right over left. So right side, instead of stitching all the way down in one seam, which would close the facing all the way, what I did is I took the busk and laid it on top of the piece so that the hooks are going into the seam allowance like this, and then I centered it top and bottom, and then I marked each side of each hook. That allows me to stitch to the marking, backstitch, then just hop over that spot under the machine, backstitch, and so on. That leaves gaps in the facing for the hooks. Then I also pressed that open and then pressed it to the inside. Once that's done, you can insert the busk through those gaps. Make sure you pull it all the way through so that it's nice and flush. Make sure all of your seam allowances are behaving in there, nothing's folded under on itself or gotten bunched. And then at this point, you can pin it, you can baste it, or you can just wing it like I'm going to do. I have a zipper foot on the machine that is open on this side. If you do the other side zipper foot, you will end up running the busk into the machine over here when you turn it. So you need the side that is open on the left. So I'm going to start by stitching across the bottom and back stitching, rotating around the corner. Then at this point, I'll double check to make sure everything is where I want it. And stitch across the top. Now, you want to line up the center fronts and make sure that the top and bottom of your corset match. Then you want to mark right in the spot where the little square notch kind of starts on the hook. You want to mark right in the center of that. Then take an awl and work holes through those points that are just big enough to fit your busk studs through. I'm going to double check that I have this the right way up, so the two closer ones are towards the bottom in this case. Usually the studs are a little bit closer to the center front than the outer edge too, which is another way you can tell if you've got an even busk with evenly spaced hooks. All right, so now all of the studs are worked through the front, and I'm going to do exactly what I did for the hook side, making sure that the facing does not roll out towards the front along that front fold at any point. I'm also keeping an eye on my waist tape to make sure it stays away. And that's it. Busk is done. They seem intimidating and scary, but they're really not that bad. You just want to make sure you are putting it in the right way around, make sure your top and bottom edges match, and stitch precisely, and then you're good to go.